Have you ever wondered if you could get the exact width of a board without doing any hard math, or measured a circle with a tape measure? Or anytime you use a tape measure, why does that little thing on the end wiggle? Well, today in Tony Box Woodshop, I'm gonna teach you. Whether you're a beginning DIYer or a seasoned woodworker, there's always something to learn in the wood shop. So it's raining outside, I got a few minutes in the shop. I thought that I would take some time and go over some of my favorite tips and tricks when it comes to using the tape measure. And if you're a beginner, make sure you're paying close attention because these can save you a lot of time and energy in the shop that you can put towards other projects. And these are my favorite videos to make because I'm not using any power tools. I can have a beer in the shop while we do it. All right, before we get started, let's talk about some of the basics of the tape measure. Now, if you're a seasoned veteran, you probably already know these, but we're gonna go over them anyway because I wanna help out those that are just getting started just as much as I wanna help out those who've been doing it for 15 years. So what I'm using today is just a basic Lovekin 16-foot tape measure. You can get them anywhere, big box stores, Amazon, or just down the road at one of your local hardware stores. Now, I've also got a few of these inexpensive Pittsburghs that I got from Harbor Freight, but to be honest, I don't really like them. So we're just gonna stick with the Lovekin. All right, to start off on this Lovekin, just like every other tape measure, you just have the basic curved tape. Now that's so that you can reach out real far and it doesn't just break and fall off. If this thing was flat, it would just do this and you wouldn't be able to reach all the way across the board or just have fun with your friends and see how far you can go before it breaks. As it pertains to this little guy on the end that wiggles, and what that is a catch so that you can catch it on the end of the boards, pull your tape out unassisted and get you an accurate measurement. Now, the reason why it wiggles is if you look close, that first inch is a 1/16 of an inch shorter than every other inch on your tape measure. The reason being is that this catch is a 1/16 of an inch thick. So when you butt it up against something, it pushes flush, gives you an exact measurement. Same thing as when you pull it, it pulls out a 1/16 of an inch and also gives you an exact measurement. It's pretty nifty, so don't tighten it down. All right, I threw this together real quick so I could show you an inside measurement trick. Now this works whether you're measuring from floor to ceiling, wall to wall, board to board, it doesn't matter. It's always hard to get in there and get an accurate measurement when your tape measure is bending in the corner. But they make something on the tape measure that makes this so much easier. And it took me a long time to figure this out. Actually, not until recently did I know this, but come on close and we'll show you real quick. If you take this tape measure and turn it around on the back, and I can get the camera to focus, you can look right there and it says 3.00 inches. And what that means is that from here to here, it's exactly 3 inches. So when you're getting an inside to inside measurement, stretch it out, lock it down, and at the end of your tape measure, mine says 15 inches. I know it's 3 inches to here, so it's exactly 18 inches long. Now that makes that measurement so much easier. When you're purchasing your tape measures, make sure to look on the back and ensure that it has that measurement on there because not all of them do. That little Pittsburgh I threw over there does not. And this is definitely a feature that you want. On to the next one. So here's another little basic fact about a tape measure that not a lot of people understand or know, and that is the end here is sharp for a reason. And that is if you're getting a measurement, let's say 10 inches, and you don't have a pencil to mark, you can actually use it to scribe. All you have to do is just press down a little bit, back and forth, and you've got a mark right there on your board that you can come back with a pencil and mark and make your cut. So that's a handy little trick if you forget your pencil or if it's out of reach, you can just take your measurement to the end and use the end of it to scribe. Pretty cool. Here's another little basic fact on the tape measure. Have you ever been using a tape measure and wonder why every 16 inches is red? And that's so that you can mark studs. And the most common use of a tape measure is in construction of homes, and studs are usually 16-inch centers. So every 16 inches, you'll see here 16, 32, 48, all the way down the tape measure, you'll have a red mark at 16 inches. So if you're hanging stuff on the wall or you're building a wall, that should be very handy. Next up, let's say that you got to cut a circle in this board. Now, this board actually come off of a vanity top that I made, and I had to cut several circles into this thing. But on this cutoff, I'm going to show you how I did it. It's very easy. If you've got to cut a circle, you find the center of where your circle needs to be and put you a screw. Now you can use your tape measure to measure it out and mark the circle at the same time. With our screw in place, we can now use our tape measure and our pencil to draw our circle. Now, here's the caveat to this little tip and trick, which I'm sure you've seen all over the internet. I've even seen it on some viral videos going across. It's hard for me to get an exact diameter circle using this method. but it's pretty good if you just need to make a circle to throw it down and get a perfect circle. Now I can get pretty close to the diameter of the circle that I need, and putting it right at the end, getting that in there, and then going around just like so. As you can see, you can get a perfect circle all the way around. Now look there, I got pretty close. That's almost right at 6 inches. That's within a 1/16 of an inch, which is pretty close in my standards. So when using this method, it works great when just trying to draw a perfect circle, but you will have to work on it to get your exact diameter down on that measurement. So let's try 4 inches here. See if I can get an 8-inch circle. Get that up against there. Whoop. Twice. Let's see how I did. Right on it, 8 inches. So a little bit of practice, you can get pretty accurate, but it's not exact. All right, on to the one trick that I use the absolute most in my shop. And if you've seen that video right there, you know it's one of my favorites. And that's finding the exact width of a board with a tape measure, but doing it with simple math. So this board right here is pretty easy to find the center of because it's 6 inches. Just go to 3 inches, make a mark, you're good to go. But what if it was 6 5/16 or another odd number? Now, I don't know about you, but that kind of math is hard for me. So this little trick really, really is handy, and it's extremely accurate. Okay, I'm gonna do my best to keep it at an angle where you can really see this, but like I said before, if you measure this board straight across, it's 6 inches. So if we make a mark right there at 3 inches, we know that is dead center. But if this was a board that was 6 5/16 or something else, it doesn't matter what the width is. This works on any width board for as long as your tape measure is. So what we do to find an exact measurement to the center without doing a straight across measurement is we turn your tape measure, keeping this corner of the tape measure tight against the board and putting it at an angle until you hit a number that is easily divided by 2. So let's just say 8. So if we go to 8, you can see that dead center right there is 4. Now the trick is you've got to keep this end of the tape measure tight while you're doing it. So you can see the 4. And we can go to any number we want that makes it easy for us to divide by 2. We can go out to 10. You can see 5 is dead in the center there. We can go out to 12 inches and we can see that 6 is dead in the center. No matter what, that will always be dead in the center as long as you keep that tight and you go to whatever number it is. So here's another little trick with this that I use probably more than even just finding the center of the board, and that's getting equal parts of a board. So let's say if I wanted to break this down into 5 equal parts, all I had to do is put it on 10, just like this, just like we find the center, and then make a mark every 2 inches, 2, 4, 6, and 8. And when I come back and use my square, draw those in straight lines, it'll be in equal parts all the way down the board. So I'll be able to divide this board into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 equal parts, and they're going to be exactly the same. Look, I know that some of these things are common knowledge to the seasoned woodworker, but I thought it might help out some of those who are just getting started in the craft. I also know there's a lot of other YouTube videos out there that talk about the tape measures and all the things that they can do, but I wanted one for my playlist right here, The Beginning Woodworker. Plenty of stuff in there for those that are just getting started into woodworking and are looking for some basic projects and also some information on tools and things in their shop. So make sure you go check that out. And as always, I appreciate your support. Go check out the links in the description, and cheers. We'll see you on the next one.